Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we break down the confusing world of corporate filings and leave you smarter than when you started. Today we're diving into BiomX Incorporated's latest report, and let's just say things are getting interesting, particularly with their drug development pipeline and how they're navigating some significant hurdles. If you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you are subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below, so come join the conversation there. So, what exactly is this filing all about? BiomX Incorporated filed a Form 8, which is essentially a report used to announce major corporate events that shareholders should know about. Think of it as a company's way of saying, hey, something important just happened and you need to know. Now, the core of this report revolves around a drug candidate called BX004. BiomX has been developing this for cystic fibrosis, or CF as it is commonly known. This hasn't been a smooth ride. We previously heard that the US Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, placed a clinical hold on their Phase 2b study. A clinical hold means the FDA paused the study because they had concerns, and in this case, those concerns were about a third-party nebulizer, a device used to deliver the drug. BiomX submitted more data and the FDA asked for even more. So, as of the 25th of November 2025, the FDA is still looking into this nebulizer. BiomX is working closely with the company that makes the nebulizer to answer all the FDA's questions. They seem confident that these outstanding issues are easily fixed, and they're talking regularly with the FDA to get this clinical hold lifted. They believe that once this is sorted out, and assuming they have the money needed, they can restart patient enrollment in the US. But that is not all. On the very same day, the 25th of November, BiomX also announced that an independent group called a Data Monitoring Committee, or DMC, finished a safety check of the study. This committee looked at participants who had bad reactions or adverse events after their review. The DMC recommended that the study should continue, but with a change in how the drug is given, basically adjusting the dose. BiomX is updating the official plan for the trial to match these recommendations. They're now expecting the initial results, the top-line results, sometime in the second quarter of next year, 2026. However, this is also dependent on them having enough money and other factors falling into place. Now, like most of these reports, there is a section on what they call forward-looking statements. This is basically a disclaimer. The company is essentially saying, we're talking about the future here and a lot can change. What we think might happen might not actually happen because of all sorts of risks. They explicitly mention things like potential FDA approvals, having enough money, starting patient enrollment. And when they expect results, they warn investors not to rely too heavily on these predictions because they are based on current beliefs and assumptions, and the future is uncertain. They point to a more detailed list of risks in their annual report, which is good practice. And finally, we have the signatures. This confirms that the report was approved and filed by authorized individuals within the company. Jonathan Solomon, the Chief Executive Officer, signed off on this report on the 25th of November 2025. So let's look at what this all means. BiomX is in a race against time and quite a bit of uncertainty. Their main drug candidate, BX004 for cystic fibrosis, is facing delays due to regulatory scrutiny of a third-party device. This is a critical point because the FDA's approval of the delivery method is as important as the drug itself. The fact that the FDA is still evaluating the device, even after BiomX submitted more data, suggests there might be more complex issues to resolve than initially anticipated. The company is trying to put a positive spin on it, saying it is readily addressable, but the continued evaluation implies it is not a simple fix. The recommendation from the Data Monitoring Committee to continue the study with adjusted dosing is a positive sign. It means that based on the safety data so far, the drug isn't causing immediate alarm. Adjusting the dosing regimen is a common part of drug development to find the most effective and safest level. However, the push out of top-line results to the second quarter of 2026 is a setback. Investors often look for progress and timelines, and this extension, coupled with the FDA hold, could impact confidence and potentially funding. Speaking of funding, their mention of pending availability of financing resources is a huge red flag. Clinical trials are incredibly expensive, and if BiomX is relying on future financing to continue its operations and trials, that puts them in a precarious position. They have to convince investors to put up money based on the potential of this drug. But the delays and regulatory hurdles make the investment risk significantly higher. The company's overall direction hinges on successfully navigating this FDA review and securing adequate funding. The market for cystic fibrosis treatments is competitive, and any significant delays or setbacks could allow competitors to gain ground. Their dependence on a third party for a critical delivery device also introduces a risk beyond their direct control. A notable opportunity here is if they can indeed resolve the FDA's concerns quickly. A successful outcome would not only lift the hold, but also demonstrate their ability to manage complex regulatory pathways. On the flip side, a prolonged hold or requirement for major changes to the delivery system could force a significant restructuring of their development plans or even lead to abandoning this particular approach. In conclusion, BiomX is in a sensitive phase. They have a promising drug candidate, but it is currently on pause due to external factors. The company's ability to communicate effectively with the FDA, secure financing, and adapt to the DMC's recommendations will be key to its future. They need to show progress and a clear path forward to maintain investor interest and ultimately bring BX004 to patients. Alright, that is our breakdown of BiomX's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.